Fulham drag Anfield agenda off the top of this leaderboard. It's actually beyond a joke. How has he been top since week 1? Hello, I am the Irish guy, and yes, this is my Premier League prediction series where I go head to head with other YouTubers. And this week, the next person trying to win this whole thing is Benjamin Bloom.
Hello everybody, what an honour to be on with the Irish guy in the Premier League predictions. I'll get my excuses in early here because it's a bit of a weird old week. We've got the FA Cup games, the semi-finals, which we are going to cover.
Look, this guy seems like a nice chap, but am I the only one who is getting creeped out by that smiling teddy bear? I feel like he's staring into my soul.
The Premier League's just kind of done, isn't it? We know who's winning the title, we know who's getting relegated. So the beach is open, so maybe we'll get some high-scoring games.
Pretty much. So come on then, Betty B. What forfeit are you giving me in case you somehow top this leaderboard?
I have to give a forfeit here, a potential forfeit for the Irish guy if I were to somehow miraculously top his leaderboard. That's probably not going to happen, but I will say anyway that I am a musician as my day job, and I'm currently in the wonderful theatre show That's So 90s. So were I to come top, the Irish guy will be appearing with me on stage to sing at least part of a song of my choice in the That's So 90s show.
I'm sorry. Do I look like a singer? No, I can't even sing happy birthday to my mum without her acting like I just bit off my granddad's thumb. Oh, great. Oh, if he somehow wins this whole thing, then I am gonna be on stage looking more out of place than Goldberg at a teenage disco.
You'd buy a ticket for that. You should buy a ticket anyway. Cheap plug.
No, mate. This is a cheap plug. But today, look, we are going to predict 8 Premier League matches plus the 2 FA Cup semi-finals. Right, let's go. Chelsea versus Everton.
If this was at Goodison, I would back Everton to get a draw.
But it's not! Sorry, that was weird. Why am I screaming at you? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just don't trust that teddy bear, okay? He looks like he comes to life at night to piss in your milk.
Let's go 1-0 to the home side. I don't know. Maybe a set play goal or something. Let's go for Enzo Fernandez to get the goal. Just a bit of a random one to start off with.
Look, I think Chelsea will squeak a win here, but again, just by 1 goal. 2-1 Chelsea. Goals from Jadon Sancho and Nicholas Jackson versus 1 from Jared Branthwaite. Someone who never scores anymore. Yeah, he's apparently a 100 million pound centre back. And yet from corner kicks, he is about as threatening as the Eddie Murphy dragon of Mulan. But I just have a feeling that he's going to be desperate to get on the score sheets to wake up the bigger clubs to his talent ahead of the summer transfer window. Because by the sounds of it, this is someone who thinks he's too good for Everton and is desperate to leave to save his England career. Am I the only one who thinks JB is just a young Dan Burn? Brighton versus West Ham.
West Ham are stinking it out. They are the worst team in the Premier League other than the 3 promoted teams. But Brighton aren't doing too much better. Should we go for a bit of a dull 1-1 draw here? Let's go for Matoma. He always scores for Brighton, doesn't he? What about Bowen for West Ham?
Yeah, this seems like a pretty reasonable prediction, but I happen to think that the Seagulls are going to flatten the Hammers 3-1. Honestly, lads, Otterball is finally being exposed for being tedious, anticlimactic, panda bear sick. I know, okay, I know this must be a crushing realization for everyone. To see him crashing and burning in his second job since quitting Brighton, for everyone to have this illusion of Graham being this next English super coach, for everyone to have that illusion shattered. I get it, it's tough. It's a bit like when you're 12 years old and realize that Santa just got sick in your fridge after trying to put his thing in the butter. But look, I think this is going to be a miserable return to Brighton for Potter. 3-1, Matoma, Minta and Welbeck versus 1 for Bowen. Potter is not cool anymore. I mean, to be fair, he was never cool. He looks like one of his hobbies would be ironing shoelaces. Newcastle versus Ipswich.
Here's the real reason I've been invited on here. I have to predict Ipswich's relegation because away they go to Newcastle. Knowing that they basically need to win all of their games and hope West Ham don't get any points. Spoiler alert, I've already gone for West Ham getting a point, so it's immaterial what Ipswich do.
Hang on, is this bloke an Ipswich fan? Okay, hang on, let's just see who we support. Wait, what? Hang on, I'm sorry. This guy is his own Wikipedia page. Oh dear. He's an actual musician. Oh, when he mentioned it earlier, I assumed he must just play the banjo to 4 blokes and a cat down his local community hall before being told to clear out for the children's karate lessons at 9. With this man sitting on a chair borrowed from the school and having to sidestep crumbs on the floor from the cake sale the previous night. Oh no, he's an actual legit famous musician who's warmed up for the Foo Fighters on Channel 4. Oh, whoops.
3-1. I suspect Ipswich will score as they tend to. Wonder if it'll be Liam Delap on the bench again. Let's go for George Hurst to score the Ipswich goal. Who's going to score 3 goals for Newcastle then? Obviously, Isak, Murphy.
Oh, he said Murphy quite angrily. Listen to that again.
Murphy.
And Shah.
Yeah, it's like he's talking about someone who'd just been in prison for chucking puppies in the oven. What's wrong with Murphy? I'll tell you what's wrong with him. It's probably because Murphy played for their local rivals, Norwich. And also because it probably reminds him of when Newcastle under Rafa Benitez stole a Murphy from Ipswich, Darryl, back in 2016. So now it kind of makes sense why your subconscious hates the name Murphy. I'll go 4-0. Isak with 2 and 1 each from Gordon and Murphy. Southampton versus Fulham.
Shall we go for something completely off the wall to happen in here? Should we go for a Southampton win?
No, don't. Don't, Benjamin, don't. Not if you want to win this thing. Not if you want me on stage playing the spoons and sweating like a seal in a sauna.
No, it's not going to happen, is it? It's just not going to happen. No, let's back Fulham. Let's go Southampton 0, Fulham 2, Jimenez, and I don't know. Andy Robinson has not scored this season. There we go. We'll go for the left back to get a goal. He always gets linked with clubs higher up the food chain than Fulham, so we'll get him to stick another 100 grand on his transfer fee.
Interesting shout, but no. Anthony Robinson is a good player, but he doesn't score ever. His last goal for Fulham was over 80 matches ago in January 2022. Nearly a whole year before Messi won the World Cup. The last time Robinson scored a Fulham goal, Cristiano Ronaldo had only been back at Manchester United 12 weeks. 2-1 Fulham. Mateus Fernandes for Southampton, but then goals from Raul Jimenez and Harry Wilson. Honestly, Ben, if Robinson scores, I will perform you a love song outdoors, complete with a ukulele and a Pikachu hat. Wolves versus Leicester.
Wolves are absolutely superb at the moment. I think it's 5 in a row. And you're not going to back against them to go 6 in a row because Leicester are stinking the joint out down at the bottom of the table. Let's go Wolves 2, Leicester 1. Cunha with both of the goals then for Wolves. I've given Leicester a goal. Why have I done that?
Look, you don't have to back a Leicester goal scorer, even though Jamie Vardy is 2 goals away from 200 goals for Leicester. Honestly, lads, if he leaves that club stuck on 198, that's going to be really annoying for him, that he can't tell his mates for the rest of his life that he scored 200 for Leicester.
Who on earth is going to score for Leicester?
Well, look, you can back out of this, Ben. Okay, you don't feel confident about them scoring a goal, and why would you? They're about as blunt as a chocolate pencil.
Bobby Reed, maybe. El Canusi's quite good. Oh no, let's go Mavididi, who's probably about to get 10 goals and 10 assists in the Championship next year.
Well, look, I'll go 2-0 Wolves, Munetsi and Larson. No way does Ruud van Nistelrooy leave Molyneux with a win. No way. Absolutely not. If he does, then I will get someone to chuck 15 oranges at me in the KFC car park. Crystal Palace versus Aston Villa.
We are covering the FA Cup semi-final. It's Crystal Palace versus Aston Villa. This feels jolly low margin, doesn't it? I'm guessing Rashford, is he cup tied in this one? I don't know. I could probably look that up very quickly. In fact, sorry. Edit this.
Edit this? What am I, your slave? No, we're all gonna sit here and watch you do your research.
Who did they play in the last round in the cup then? Was it Forest? Hang on. Matches. FA Cup, it was Preston. Rashford is not cup tied. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. Sorry, 1, 2, 3.
Why is he clapping? I'm confused.
So we are beefing this up by covering the FA Cup, and it's Crystal Palace versus Aston Villa in the semi-final. This feels very low margin, and I've just looked it up. Marcus Rashford is not cup tied. So I'll go under 1.5 goals. I'll go for the Villa win. Palace 0, Villa 1, Rashford with the goal.
Interesting. Very interesting. Lads, because the FA Cup semi-finals are so incredibly open and winnable for everyone, then a semi-final exit is going to be devastating. It's like back in 2008. Considering the final wound up being Cardiff versus Pompey, how gutting for the likes of West Brom and Barnsley to lose their semi-finals 1-0. Can you imagine if that had been a West Brom versus Barnsley FA Cup final? I mean, why not? Barnsley had done the hard bit, knocking out Liverpool and Chelsea, so then losing to Cardiff at Wembley would have been more difficult to stomach than swallowing a stapler. Their manager Simon Davey was one game away from FA Cup final. Nearly 20 years later, and he's now in charge of Swarm FC, which is just some American talent spotter firm for Brentford. Yikes. So yeah, I think Palace will lose this game. I think Aston Villa will win the FA Cup. So for all of you who think that I'm always predicting doom and gloom for the club and never give them credit, no, I think you're about to win your first FA Cup since 1957, as Unai Emery guarantees himself a statue outside Villa Park. 2-1 Villa, Mateta, Asensio, and Rashford. For Palace, this will be utterly devastating. Bournemouth versus Man United.
Bournemouth versus Manchester United. I think I'm supposed to mention Harry Redknapp when we talk about this fixture, aren't I?
Why?
I'm definitely going to back Bournemouth to beat Manchester United.
Good man.
2-1. Who are we giving the goals to then? Should we go for some ex-EFL alumni? In fact, I think they're both going to be Bristol City players, aren't they? Let's go Alex Scott and Antoine Semenyo. And for Manchester United, Bruno.
I also think it'll be 2-1 Bournemouth. I'll go for a double from Antoine Semenyo, who is probably going to be playing out of his skin after the news broke this week that Manchester United are eyeing up a £70 million deal. So yeah, 2 for him. He'll be desperate to impress. And for Man United, let's say Lenny Yoro. Why not? I mean, can you imagine if Euro scores now? Oh, wow. Liverpool versus Tottenham.
Let's go. Should we go for a cricket score? No, let's not be too cruel. Let's go 3-0. Obviously, Salah. Let's give him 2. And let's give McAllister the other goal.
Yep, 3-0, I agree. Salah, McAllister and Jota. It's going to be an Anfield party. Nottingham Forest versus Man City.
Right, let's go on to the second FA Cup semi-final. I'm going to completely go heart over head, because I remember when we got to the last 8 of the Cup semi-final, 7 of the last 8 would have been really, really fun winners. And then there was Manchester City, who have won it probably a million times in the last 5 seasons. So, no offence, any Man City fans watching. Let's have a more fun winner than that. And let's go for Forest to win this one. But the only way they're going to win it is on penalties.
Oh, interesting.
Let's go for 0-0 full time, 0-0 extra time. Forest on penalties, I don't know, 5-4.
I've literally gone for a 0-0 in this FA Cup semi-final. But I think Man City will win on penalties. I mean, it's not that crazy a suggestion. Forest have already had 4 different penalty shootouts this season alone, which must be some sort of record. If Forest actually reach the final, they'll just be what Portugal were at Euro 2016, winning the whole thing despite barely winning a match. Forest have beaten 1 team without the need of a penalty shootout. Luton Town in the first round, so you'd excuse me if I don't think their name is on the cup. I think Man City will win on penalties, with Nico O'Reilly netting the winning pen. Just you watch. The FA Cup final will be the same as the League Cup final of 2020. Aston Villa versus Man City. Oh, by the way, lads, because it would be such an epic prediction if this goes to penalties, then okay, if Nottingham Forest win on penalties, or if Man City win on penalties, then either me or Benjamin is getting an extra 15 points. Nottingham Forest versus Brentford.
Story time with Ben. I've gone for Forest to be in the cup final. They're going to be completely distracted by that, and then they're going to slip up.
Interesting. Are you going to call him a Forest hater too?
Forest will go for a set play goal, maybe from Murillo. He gets fewer than you think. Let's go for Visser then and Milenkovic to get the goals.
I also think it'll be a 1-1 draw. I'm going for Wood and Wisa, the 2 W's, to give Forest a Champions League L. So that is the end of the video. Huge thanks to Benjamin Bloom for coming on. He seems like a really great guy. Go check out his channel or go to his concerts. Am I really going to be getting dragged up on stage? We shall see. It all depends on whether or not these predictions were actually any good. Any final words, Ben?
There you go. Those are my 10 predictions. I hope I can win. I probably won't. I'm not great at predictions, but hey, it's all a bit of fun, isn't it? If I do, we will see. the Irish guy on stage with me at a show for That's So 90s. Be kind in the comments. You don't need to comment on my appearance, even though a lot of people struggle to not do that. And also, look, if anyone's injured, whatever. It's just a bit of fun. Happy predicting. Thanks for having me on, Irish Guy.
What a great guy. Really enjoyed that one. Are you going to be the one to topple Anfield agenda? Or are you going to be eaten by your haunted teddy bear? We shall find out. Anyway, that is the end of the video. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Let me know who do you want on next. Let me know in the comments below. Is Benjamin going to be the one to topple Anfield agenda? We shall see. Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe as always. I'll talk to you in a while.